Cleveland went into that beautiful stadium that's sitting behind Gunner PJ and won 33-31. Massage Envy. Deshaun Watson, 20 completions, 213 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Brother Lamar Jackson, 13 completions, 233, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions.
Yeah, man.
This game started out spooky.
I'm watching
this
game
started out spooky.
I mean, it started off the same way it started in Pittsburgh. And at the end of the day, the same way. I mean, the Browns game started off in Pittsburgh. I think y'all know what I meant. But at the end of the day, you up 14-0. Like you said, you up 24-9. You up 31-16. All you up 2 scores pretty much the whole entire game. You come into the game, you can put 15 minutes back on the clock the first quarter. You come into the game up 7-0 after the Kyle Hamilton thing. And to lose that game, I can see if you're on a roll, whatever. Even if you're on a roll, you shouldn't lose. But to lose that game at home is the same story. It's been happening for 2 years, 2.5 years now. It's the same story under John Harbaugh. Look, the same thing happened in Pittsburgh. You recover the Cole fumble. You don't do nothing. Like it's the same thing. It's literally the same thing. You had thousands of opportunities to put this game away. You didn't. So I'll let Keith and Nick talk about the players and I'm strictly talking about the coaching. And I'm talking about Todd Monken. I'm talking about
God.
I'm talking about Mike McDonald. I'm talking about in the extension of John Harbaugh. The game plan on the game plan on either side of the ball wasn't good. I don't get the last 2 weeks you rushed Geno Smith, or you rushed not the last 2 weeks, but you rushed Jared Goff, you rushed Geno Smith, and then you sit back and you play zone all day in the second half against Deshaun Watson. You let him get out the pocket. You're not tackling. Fundamentals. It's just a bad loss, and I think it comes down to coaching. And we always talk about it. Coaching is more about X's and O's. Is more than X and O's. Because if it was about X and O's, John Harbaugh would have been gone. So it's about knowing your personnel. It's about having a feel for the game, and he doesn't have any of that. There's no reason why your players that's producing are not on the field. There's no reason why you're not calling timeouts, rushing a field goal, trying to get a field goal snap done with 2 seconds left instead of taking a timeout and getting huddling up and getting together. It comes down to coaching. Your quarterback take a big hit, you coming out the next play after that, you throwing the ball. You up a score, you got the ball, you driving, you winning, and you letting your quarterback throw the ball instead of running the ball. It comes down to what personnel are you putting on the field. The head coach is responsible for who plays, right? What packages are put out. That's the head coach job. Who's active, who's inactive, who's in this field, who's playing, who's starting, who's not starting, who's first backup. That's a coach. And John Harbaugh is not good enough. Like I said, I think I said 2 weeks ago, I've been saying it for years. They reached that peak. When you keep continuing to lose the games the same way you're losing the games, it's coaching. There's no reason why you should be blowing 2 touchdown leads at home. There's no reason, especially against a quarterback that completed 2 passes in the first half. Like that, like why? What are you doing?
So loving this shit.
Exactly. So it's
like preaching.
That man was like 0 for his first 9.
That's what I'm saying. It was 0 for 9 with 19 yards in a pick 6 at that. And it's like, and it's getting ridiculous because, like I said, you're not putting your team in the right position to win. Granted, they made mistakes, but what type of defense are you playing that you letting the quarterback go 14-14 in the second half? There was no pressure on him. Like they sat back, the middle field was wide open all day. It took advantage of the middle field every day. It's like you're not gonna make them throw outside the numbers. You're not gonna finish your sacks. It's coaching. You like I said, the Browns went in the halftime. They made adjustments to get him, to get him to start playing well. And John Harbaugh with it. Come on, just keep up the work, guys. Keep on. Let's go. It's not good enough no more. It's not, and it's sad that you look at. We see all graphics where the Ravens only trailed for 28 minutes. Any other team that trailed that or close to that, there you go. Any other team that trailed that, they 10-0. Any other team, who the Ravens 7-3. It's the same stat that we had last year where the Ravens had like 4. There we go. That's the stat. That's what I was looking for. That's ridiculous. If you see that graphic and you don't want a new head coach, then you something's going on. It's something.
Let me interrupt you real quick. Speaking of your head coach, he had something to say about this game.
The kind of winning football that we need to play to win a game like that. Different situations, all 3 phases, and the coaching staff. So you got to put it behind us. It's a long season in the NFL. You have games like this. You do lose games like this in this league, and we've got to bounce back and play our best football on Thursday night. What questions you have?
It's the same bullshit.
You don't have games like this.
It's the same bullshit. And and this is the last thing I'm gonna say about because I'm interested to see what with Nick break down the game. Is it's the same bullshit every week. And you give coaches like I said, you give Tomlin a 2-touchdown lead in the fourth quarter at home, they're not losing that game. You give Pete Carroll a 2-touchdown lead at home in the fourth quarter, they're not losing that game. You give Andy Reid a 2-touchdown lead in the fourth quarter, you give Sirianni the same. I can go down the list of coaches. The only coach that's blowing that shit lately has been John Harbaugh. That's it. We've been since the Miami game. We've been talking about the same shit for 3 years, 2 years. It's the same thing. It's the same thing, and it's stale. It's stale. There's no reason. It's literally no reason why the Baltimore Ravens shouldn't be 10-0, and it's because of the coach. It's because of the coaching.
I don't even know where to begin. I mean, pretty much echo your sentiments about the bigger problem at hand. The bigger problem at hand is not being able to close games. You kind of felt, it in the win yesterday, momentum shift. And with us, when momentum shifts, it's obvious. Like it's not slight, it's not moderate. Like when you see it and feel it in the game, it just snowballs. It continues and continues to build. I mean, Keys mentioned the time spent trailing this season. That's ridiculous. Like we're talking about the Chiefs and the Eagles coming in at 80 minutes, right? And 84 minutes. And we're talking about the Ravens at 28. Those teams are, as far as record-wise, are sitting much better than we are. We're looking at the Chiefs as far as home field advantage right now. That should be our spot. We're not talking about losing to teams like the Chiefs or the Bills or the Dolphins or, what have you. The Texans, you got to include them. The Bengals, like we beat the Bengals earlier. I mean, we're talking about losing the Colts. Kenny Pickett, no disrespect, but I just put us over a team like the Packers. No disrespect. And the Cleveland Browns, we beat them. What was the score? I mean, obviously Deshaun Watson didn't start, but Deshaun Watson hasn't been Houston Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson has been someone who's trying to reclaim that magic and, with 14 straight completions in the second half, going 14 for 14. Why are we letting him reclaim that on us? You know what I mean? Like the Browns trailed the Ravens 40 seconds into the game and did not lead until the game-winning field goal as time expired. So trailing the game for 59 minutes and 20 seconds, and you allow that team to beat you with time expiring. You look at the last drive, 2nd and 17, right? Last drive, 2nd and 17. You allow a 15-yard catch to Amari Cooper. Playing soft zone all game long, allowing the middle of the field to be open all game long. Tackling was atrocious. I mean, we saw Njoku, we saw Jerome Ford, like no disrespect, somebody named Jerome. First name Jerome should not be carrying our whole entire team like that. That's not Adrian Peterson, Jamal Lewis, Walter Payton. That's Jerome Ford. That's the backup to Nick Chubb. That's not even Nick Chubb. It's not even Kareem Hunt. Like, why? Like, these are the things that are perplexing to me because, it wasn't just that drive with the careless tackling. We have Marcus Williams playing, no disrespect, but if your shoulder's hurting, and we have somebody named Geno Stone who's been literally balling, almost had another interception yesterday. We don't need you to be playing with one arm. I don't understand, why we're trying to force this right now. Yes, Kyle Hamilton is versatile enough to play nickel. He played nickel all last year. You know what I mean? Yes, he's versatile to move from safety and move down from strong safety and come down closer to the line and guard in that nickel position. But it's not necessary when the defense was gelling. The defense had good communication. Harbaugh's talking about miscommunications in the zones from the safeties yesterday. Well, I wonder why you changed up the rotation. It's not necessary. You know what I mean? Let Marcus get healthy if we're going to do that. Because this is getting ridiculous. Ravens win probability peaked at 96.7 when leading 31-17 yesterday in the fourth quarter. And we've had at least an 85% win probability in our 3 losses. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? Like 85%, it wasn't 85% at least for no reason. I mean, we're getting close to the finish line. We're close to walking through that door. And that's the thing that angers me about the Ravens. Every time it seems like we're about to take that final step into, hey, we're the elite class of the NFL. We are legitimate contenders. The playoffs will have to go through us. Once we get to that door, we never walk through it. Something always sets us back, whether it's an injury, whether it's a bonehead loss like this. And then, to hear Harbaugh say things like, looking back on it, Keaton Mitchell probably should have gotten the ball more.
No
He was
shit.
killing them. He was killing. They had no answer for him.
He had a 39-yard run touchdown, didn't he?
Yeah, and a screen
In the
pass.
first quarter. I think it was his first touch.
Yeah, and he had 3 after. He had 2 after that.
He had 3 touches.
Right.
Three
Yeah,
carries.
he had 3 carries.
I think he had a couple catches.
A couple.
But-
Okay.
But I mean, come on, man.
He
That's
should have been a feature back though. After that, he's the feature back for the rest of the game. At least for that game.
3 catches.
so.
3 carries for 34 yards.
It's
11
utterly
yards per
ridiculous.
carry.
Gus Edwards, I love Gus Edwards, but he should be the red zone and hammer, right? So when we're in the 20s, within the 20 in the red zone, cool. Give him all the carries he can handle in there. Goal line scenarios, 3rd and short possibly. Cool, because he's only averaging about 2 yards a carry the last couple of games. Yes, he's been hammering in for touchdowns. Yes, he's been successful in the red zone, but that should be his role. Keaton Mitchell should be, 20 to 20. He should be within the 20s. You know what I mean? Because he provides us a spark. And that play he scored on, if you look at it, the fact that he scored on that play, where he got out to that outside really quickly. I mean, a lot of running backs ain't doing that.
He turned nothing into something. He left Delpit in that whole loss.
And that's momentum too, right? Like him eating, the whole team would feed off of that. Just like when Odell caught his touchdown, the whole team kind of was feeding off that. But then it goes to, back to defense, playing soft. You mentioned Watson not being able to contain him. That was the game plan. Harbaugh mentioned the game plan was and Matabuki mentioned the game plan was to keep Watson contained in the pocket.
Why? When has he showed? Like, I don't understand. They rush 4 all day. What's the point of rushing 4 all day? You would literally want to bring extra people to speed him up to get the ball out of his hands. I don't understand. Because rushing 4 is not going to keep him contained in the pocket. Because if them 4 don't get home or they lose contain, they lose that. He's out the pocket all day in the second half. And that was, like you said, that was the game. It comes down to coaching. It comes down to them walking in and saying, this the game plan. John Harbaugh saying, okay, any real coach would have said, that's not going to work. Like, that's not going to work.
Minka was on the sidelines yesterday like, yo, what the fuck did you just call? Hell no.
I'm about to pass it to Keith, but I mean, listen, that's the 7th loss.
So.
That's the 7th loss after leading in the 4th quarter since the start of last season, which ties the Colts. The Colts just selected Anthony Richardson, towards the top of the draft board. So being synonymous with the Colts is kind of crazy right now. And finally, man, we in must-win territory Thursday. Because we didn't finish our our plate. We threw away, we wasted mommy's money and shit. You know what I mean? And now you can't lose 2 division games at home. You just can't.
Well, he really got to be fired, right? Or you lose the back-to-back games at home.
The schedule isn't forgiving. We don't got the package to look forward to. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got some hitters coming up, and we're on the road. We got to have a West Coast trip. We got to go to Jacksonville. Hopefully, we see that version of Jacksonville. But we lost on last year in a game in which we gave up a lead. So who's to say we can go in there and beat them? We got to play Miami. We got to play Pittsburgh last game of the season. So.
It's like you got the talent to win, but you're not even confident because of the coaching, the way the team coach and the way the team built. The Ravens can literally lose to anybody on any Sunday, and they can beat anybody on any Sunday. That's not the way you want to have
Yesterday was the first time I bet on the Ravens again in 4 or 5 weeks. Remember we said we ain't betting on the Ravens no more. I stuck to that. Yesterday was the first time I was like, yo, man, we ain't losing to the fucking Browns. Yo.
To it.
Man, I'm done.
Now you got an Oreo hat on. That's crazy.
Gunnar Henderson just named AL Rookie of the Year, so shout out to Gunnar before I start my
man.
Pay up, FanDuel.
Leaving here with
Gunnar just named AL Rookie of the Year.
All right,
but
it's football season.
All right, but nonetheless, bad loss. We talked about it Friday. Divisional football, you kind of throw the X's and O's out the window. Who's going to be more physical? Who wants it more? And when I look at that second half, Cleveland wanted it more. They killed us in the trenches. They were more physical. You look at Jerome Ford, what he was doing after contact. Njoku, what he did after contact. Like, at some point, they were dragging players. AFC North football, man, like, that's what it boils down to. If you're going to take your foot off the wheel and not play as physical, not get to the quarterback, you're going to leave the door open for these teams to come back. Like, these aren't mediocre teams. It's a reason going into last week all 4 AFC North teams were in the playoff picture. Like this is the best division of football, and you have to treat it as such. You come out and you up 14-0 at home against any team, you supposed to finish. You up 31-17 in the fourth quarter at home, you supposed to finish. Boils down to coaching. It's hardball, but aside from coaching, we got beat physically yesterday. And that's the first time I've said that in a while about this team. Like, we got beat physically yesterday. This defense, like, they in the fourth quarter, and they held on as long as they possibly could. But the way the physicality of Cleveland's offense, from the line to the receivers and running backs, it was just our tail was between our legs, man. And it sucks because since he lost, obviously, and we'll get there, but you blew yet another opportunity to essentially gain games on these teams. To be playing with house money come Thursday night, but since he coming off a L. Now
you could have buried them.
Yeah, we could have dressed in all black for the funeral, but now it could be even one of our funeral Thursday.
Now we a game up on. Win. Now we a game up on the Steelers, and they currently on the tiebreaker because of the head-to-head.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's crazy.
Can't see my 6, but it's
and like you allow 6.3 yards per carry from Jerome Ford, like that cannot happen, man.
That was a curse, though. That's a curse, though.
That's terrible, man.
Nick was talking big shit Friday about Jerome Ford. We ain't seen the nitty curse work in a minute, but he was talking big shit. I was like, yo, we ain't letting no fucking Jerome Ford do that. That's what he said.
John Harbaugh. I'm sick of John Harbaugh about to get the what's the name?
Nick, people talking about re-signing Patrick Queen and all this extra stuff. I'm like, okay, like Jerome Ford did it. Jerome Ford did it.
Shit, I'll take Patrick Queen right the fuck now.
Go ahead, Pam.
Yeah, that's Jerome
Ford gonna do that too.
I like
he had one bad game.
Jerome Ford gonna do that too.
He had one bad.
I like that.
He had one bad game.
Well, listen, if
he dropped an interception, he sucks. Like Deshaun Watson threw it straight to him. He literally threw it straight to him. He dropped it. He sucks. We don't want to hit the wall with Patrick Queen.
Yo, they don't love you.
We don't need to pay 2 linebackers.
Yeah, you're right. We're
gonna have to figure out something to do with Marcus too. I'm just gonna keep it a buck. Because
until he get healthy, yeah, you're right. He don't need to see the field. Like, I mean, what was the snap breakdown? What was the snaps breakdown? I'm about to look real quick.
I mean, they all were on the field together a lot because they just moved Kyle Hamilton down. Kyle Hamilton didn't assume his regular, safety position. He moved down to play nickel on the line, and
I
don't hate it if Marcus is healthy.
But how is that not bad coaching? You seeing your team blowing teams out, playing well, winning 4 games in a row, and because one of your players come back and you're healthy, you change the rotation, and then you end up losing.
You see Marcus' contract?
I was about to say he has get your
ass. We're going to think about it. It's a consideration because if Gino's going to give you that production and you could possibly re-sign him to a cheaper price point than what you're currently paying. I'm just saying it's a consideration because clearly we're gonna have to do something at left tackle.
I was just
draft corner.
I'm about to ask you about.
We didn't even mention the injuries from Stanley and Marlon.
We don't got to talk about. We can talk about Marlon, but we ain't talking about Stanley injury. That nigga's always injured. Like that nigga's always injured.
But I mean, you're looking at possibly not having both of them Thursday. I know Harbaugh trying to be coy about it right now, but
they not playing. Neither one of them playing.
I mean, we know what it is.
Lamar was day-to-day last year too.
Neither one of them.
I turned into 6 weeks.
I'm tired of Stanley leaving games early. I'm tired of he leaving big games. Every single big game he gets hurt in. Every single big game he can't finish. So I don't know. And I mean, you can say the Marlon injury, but they was playing that soft ass defense before Marlon got injured. Like they was literally playing that soft defense all game long. It was. I don't understand it. I don't understand. What has Deshaun Watson showing your tape where you think you can just sit back in the zone and spread the zone out, not even cover the middle of the field? They was throwing he was just checking down the middle of the field all day long.
Where was the switch up?
You know what's crazy though, Keys? The first play was a blitz from Hamilton, and you got the turnover.
Yep. Ain't bring a lot of blitzes for the rest of the day. Just they rush for all game, like you said, the game plan, keeping the pocket. Rushing for is not gonna keep somebody in the pocket. I mean, what's Deshaun Watson showing over the last 2 years, other than getting massages and being a bum last year that he need a spot? At least make him earn the fucking spot.
My thing is, where's the switch up? All the last 2-3 weeks, we've heard the praise of McDonald, and the praise was really surrounded around how he could disguise his zones. you know, how challenging it was to line up against the Ravens because they show you something pre-snap and then post-snap, it'd be a completely different look. You know, my thing is this is happening in real time. Cleveland is getting whatever they want in real time. They attack in the middle field, whatever they want in real time. Yes, Marlon goes down, but this is the reason we had the conversation in the summer saying, hey, we need some cornerback depth because if Marlon goes down, it's scary. And what happens when Marlon goes down? Everything collapses. So I go back to, you know, the coordinators. Like, you know, you get to that fourth quarter, you know, if we're playing zone all game, where's the switch up? That's all. Like, where's the switch up? Where's the different looks that we are going to give? Okay, this is not working, and they're eating it up. We're going to have to keep throwing different looks at Deshaun. I promise you, throwing different looks at Deshaun at this stage of his career is not the worst thing you can do. It's not like they have some explosive offense, right? Like, you know, they're decent. They're decent, but it's, you know, Amari Cooper, you know, Elijah Moore isn't putting that much fear into my heart. And Njoku, little different story. He got a burn face. He running full speed. He big. Yeah, I get it.
The receivers was running 15 yards down the field before they was touched in their routes. Like they were just running down the field past the first down line and turning around and just the ball was right there. Wasn't
Njoku, I think it was Njoku. Njoku took Geno Stone from Westminster to Park Heights. I'm talking about 20 yards on his back. You can't make this stuff up.
He wasn't even use 795.
Nah.
I'm on the back roads.
But like I said, we broke. The only good thing is about this is you're going to short week. That's the only good thing. You got the Bengals coming in. It's short week. You can try to put it behind you. Like you said, now if you sit here and you come out Thursday and you let another egg, yo, it's going to get spooky here. It's going to get spooky. It's already spooky. Keep blowing these 4-quarter leads, but it's a great thing that the Ravens got a short week. It's a good thing.
I don't fear Joe Burrow or the Bengals. Like, I'm not one of those. I don't understand how they just continue to get put over us when head to head. They usually do not come out on top against us, especially Lamar. But short week, they're coming off an ugly loss at home. They're coming off having to proverbially fight for their playoff life right now. Yeah, it's early still, but ain't that early, right? The losses are piling up for the Bengals.
They ain't played the Browns yet, did they? The Browns and the Bengals ain't played each other this season yet, did they?
I'm not sure,
but he can't beat them.
They can't. It's not ideal for them to lose to us this Thursday, so they're going to come in
ready to go,
very hungry, and I don't know. You know, sometimes I feel like we can match that intensity with anybody, but it's like we do it for 58 minutes, 59 minutes and 20 seconds. It's ridiculous, bro.
Yeah, they played first game of the year.
Oh, right, bet. Yeah.
Browns beat them 24-3.
So,
Bengals upcoming games, they got us, and then they got the Steelers at home next week. They got the Jaguars, Colts, Vikings.
Okay, so they can clean up a little bit.
Yeah, it's favorable.
But what's after that?
They finished with Steelers, Chiefs, Bengals. I mean, Steelers, Chiefs, Browns. I'm sorry.
They're gonna have to clean up.
That's tough.
They're gonna have to clean up.
Yeah,
they ain't too much cleaning up. The only team you named really was what, the Colts. There ain't a lot of cleaning up.
The Colts ain't horrible.
Yeah, the Colts.
Oh, yeah.
They still got Pittsburgh twice. The Jags
that's not easy for them. That's not
the Chiefs and the Browns once.
And a loss Thursday, they'd have what, 5 losses?
Yeah, to be 5-5.
Yeah, to be 5-5.
I can see 2 to 4 losses in that mix, possibly. It's potentially. So, you know, once you get to 5 losses, you can't lose so much in this AFC.
No, it's too deep. It's way too deep.
Not at all.